Yeah, you asked me.
You may go.
Okay,
Sorry, flag.
okay.
I'll wait for your boss, sorry about that.
No. Okay, I am going to call to order the regular meeting of the Town of Griswold Board of Selectmen on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Roll call, Tina Falk for Selectmen, Martin McKinney to my right, Selectmen Rich Grabowski to my left, Lisa Wood, Executive Secretary. Number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 3, approval of minutes. We have June 11th, special meeting, June 11th, regular meeting minutes, June 12th, special meeting minutes, and June 17th, also special meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of items 3A, B, C, and D as presented.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 4, correspondence, recognition by the state of Connecticut as a heart-safe community. Any discussion on that? Now, that was through the Health and Safety Committee, correct? This is a letter from the state of Connecticut Department designating us. We're being recognized as a heart-safe community. And
Well, I'd like to thank the Health and Safety Committee for the hard work on that.
yes,
Yep. I just want to say, we want to thank this Wadsworth did a lot of the work to get that.
okay, well, thank you,
Thank you,
Rich. Yep, the letter is from Manisha Juthani, the commissioner. And we commend you on your efforts to continue to save lives and improve the health of your community. So thank you. Okay, number 5, old business, discussion and possible action on security measures for tax collector assessor's office.
Yes, I have some information on that. Tomorrow, I talked to, like I told everybody last week, I talked to United Mirror and Glass in Basra, and I talked to Ruby Glass. Not everybody's as quick as you want them to do, but Tyler from United Glass is coming tomorrow, 11 o'clock, to go over some ideas with the owner for some security glass in the other room. And I figured once he at least does the layout, then the next point, then we can get some bids. But until we know what we're really doing, it doesn't really make sense to have a bunch of people bidding on different things, going different directions.
So it's United coming tomorrow?
United Glass and Mirror coming tomorrow, a guy named Tyler, I believe he's the owner. At 11 o'clock,
Okay, great.
and I'll meet him here, obviously.
Thank you. 5B, discussion and possible action on securing possible media platform.
Okay, I got some responses for this. I'll pass this down to everybody. Basically, the rundown from
Sure, yeah.
basically the Healthy Computer. I talked to Daryl from Healthy Computer. He basically said he reached out to a couple other municipalities. He feels that the owl is a better way to go, but he talked to Killingly, and they feel if we set it up in a horseshoe, it won't make me look fat, like I told you. But it actually goes better. He said it was set up more a horseshoe, and that's what they end up doing, and putting the speaker, whoever speaks in the center, so it's more of a square versus a broader thing. He also said if we want him to pursue further, he would recommend somebody he thinks it's a 2-tier system, somebody to physically have the cameras here. And he's concerned that because we use this room for other functions, that somebody'd have to take them down and put them back up. And then he felt that you would have to have somebody operating. So I don't know which way you want to go, if you want me to keep pursuing it, but that's basically what our local vendor has told us we should do or shouldn't do, so.
Well, this is not my strong point, so
I can
I
go out to somebody else and get a second opinion if you want, but that was his,
I'd get a second
Okay.
opinion, just to see.
okay, but I did want to stay local, and that's why I went across the street, so.
You know, it's funny because I was at the town of Salem, their town hall today, and their board is in a horseshoe, and I wonder
Oh.
if that's what it's all about.
That's what he said Killingly's doing, so it could be, it's not as, it makes a square apparently, or better.
Mhm.
So.
A little more
Yeah,
centralized.
yeah,
Okay, so I would make a motion that
just keep
you
pursuing it,
continue pursuing, see if you can get a second opinion,
okay,
a second
fair enough.
opinion. All right, so I'll make a motion to have Martin McKinney continue to pursue the possible media platform. Want a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5C, discussion and possible action on status of Main Street decorative lighting.
I got a long way on that one. So, I don't have, well, I did talk to Frank, from Prime Electric that did do it. I did find out that, there's 3 conduits each one. They're run on 110 and they're LEDs presently. So that's all a good thing. On each side, there's a meter, on the top of the pole and switches there. So each side is metered separately through, I guess, due to the light power. So there's a meter and it's run on both sides. I did talk to them. I'm trying to get some information. There is some decorative lighting to LSI that's comparable. It may not be the exact same thing, but it's comparable. And the new stuff, basically the issue with that, the lighting we have now, it's a single piece that doesn't break away, it doesn't fall apart. So if it gets hit and it's cast, it snaps and breaks and, but they do make, close, but I don't have the brochures and I was, we do have a small committee. And I haven't really sat down with everybody on that because I haven't got any information and any pricing, but I would strongly suggest if you give me a little bit of time to hold off and just leave the ones that are still running. And I don't have a price per pole, but the new ones, if we can get them close enough to match, will be 3 pieces. So if the guy hits it and maybe you lose all 3 of them, sometimes you can lose the top and then you can replace the bottom with the top and, that type of thing versus. And Frank and I were also talking that maybe on the corners, some type of, lolly column painted the same color as a pole, not orange, would protect the pole on the corners a little bit, but we haven't really got too far into it, and I was gonna sit down with Paul and when I got some information, but, at this point, I don't have any brochure, I don't have any information other than,
Okay.
and people say they do stuff right away and it doesn't happen right away.
A local businessman told me that the initial design called for a computers here. They decided not to do it because of the cost factor.
Right.
But it was originally designed, you could have changed the color of the lights. And
Frank,
it could have been all programmed through the
right,
computer.
Frank did say that, and then he did say there was a lot of discussion, it was grant, and there was a lot of discussion, they should have went further back, close to the middle. People didn't want them close to the building, other people didn't want them in the middle of the sidewalk, and
Yeah.
so I said it was a lot of discussion both ways, but he did say there's 3 conduits to every light pole, so that means we can do anything, we can put cameras, we can pretty much do anything we want to do. The ones we do have presently are LED, so they're fairly efficient fixtures. And I think if we can get something close maybe or something, I don't know, or maybe move, the good ones we have to one side of the road and do this or something that, I know if we can get them close enough, but LSI does have a heritage line, they call it, that's available now. And of course, everything today is different from yesterday's standards, and whoever, the people that did it, I think they did a great job. It's just a matter of that, you're judging people's work on yesterday's standards and,
Yeah.
standards change and things change, and obviously you could do it differently now, but it is what it is.
Following towns are quite similar to ours,
Right.
aren't they?
Yes, that's what the guy, from, EW said. But there's a taller, there's a lot
Taller.
taller. And their thing hangs different, but yeah, but I think we can match or get close anyway. And like I said, maybe one of the things that, the electrician indicated, maybe you can move all of them to one side that match and then maybe the closer ones on the other side, so at least if you're looking at one side, they look the same. and
Yeah,
Rather than, I don't think we'll have the money to go in and take them all down and replace them all. I
No.
think we can go over time or something like that, or until we get the price on the per fixture, I don't know how.
is Frank gonna work up something for us?
He's not yet. He wants me to get the pictures. He wants me to talk to Paul, get an idea what we're gonna do, how many lights, what the pictures are and all that type of stuff. So I already talked to Paul, but I don't have the stuff for the part of meeting folks. So we'll just move it out. We're not meeting. So, yep. So,
Okay.
but,
So do we want to table this until we
Yeah.
have more information?
I'd like you to give me more chance before you take them down. That's a little bit
Yeah,
more
for
time
sure.
before you take them down.
Absolutely.
I make a motion, we table item 5C. The next meeting.
Okay, I will second tabling item 5C until we have more information from Martin. We have a motion made and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5D, discussion and possible action on status of a building committee. Okay, so we have the document here. A lot of work went into this. It's well done, but there are some suggestions, and I know that we had the finance director look at it, and I don't know, I think, Martin, you've made some notes.
I definitely made a lot of.
Um, yeah, so I think what we'd like to do is meet with the ordinance committee just to talk about some of the changes that we'd like to incorporate. Okay. All right, there are some things in here that the finance director pointed out in terms of the Board of Education. There are some things that we really can't keep in here, so we probably should talk about that. All right? So I'll contact, do you want me to contact you, Wayne?
So, Rich.
Okay,
Do we have a meeting Thursday with them? Don't we? Or no?
yeah, but it's not so much to discuss,
Not the ordinance committee.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's
okay,
not, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I
All
thought we
right.
had a meeting Thursday.
No, well, we do, but I just don't think that this would fit in.
Okay.
Because I think it deserves to have its own conversation rather than being put in with two other items.
Okay.
All right, so I would make a motion that we table this until the Board of Selectmen can set up a meeting to just review the document with the ordinance committee as soon as we can.
I'll second that motion.
I'll say, all in favor, go ahead.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 6, new business, discussion and possible action on 2 tax refunds for a total of $1,495.25 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2 tax refunds for a total of $1,495.25 as presented by the tax collector.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 6B, discussion and possible action on update on social media issues. I do have something. And I think it's kind of important, especially it's kind of a safety issue. I know that Public Works had been out doing chip sealing on a number of roads in town, and it kind of was sent to me. There was a lot of chatter and complaining. And I know that there was one particular road, it was Edmond Road, and I took a ride over it last Wednesday. And I mean, we've been doing chip sailing forever, and I drove the entire road. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary with it. I have had a chance to learn about the procedure and the technique, and I'm going to ask Todd Babbitt to talk about what the procedure is and how you go through the week with it. It's not a, one and done thing. So Todd, can you talk a little bit about that?
Chip seal by itself or?
The chip seal process. I don't know. Do you remember how many roads you did? 5 roads were chip sealed.
So typical process we use, do a road study, when we have the meeting on the road study, we go over processes that We have approved, we use crack seal, chip seal, mill and pave, overlay, reclaiming the whole road or reconstruction. So the chip seal, we prepare the road. New road that we paved, let's say this year. 8 to 10
Excuse
years.
me, Todd, can you hold on a second, I have to change the batteries. Sorry, I got a beep, beep, beep by the recorder.
Pause.
Hold that one.
And talk, if you could, just talk a little louder, please, and thank you.
AC is gone. Okay, you may continue.
Sure. Right, so if we pave a new road, between 5 and 10 years after we pave it, we watch it and we crack seal that road when it starts to have fatigue cracks. After that process, we go another 5 to 10 years, we watch those cracks when they start to open up. Or we have a lot of new cracks, then we'll chip seal the road. Chip seal does a better job when the original crack seal starts to open, sealing that up to keep the water out. So with the chip seal process, we prepare the road, we edge them, we sweep them. We get it ready for a contractor to come in. They use a latex oil and they use a stone that's tested ahead of time to make sure it has a charge to the stone. So the latex oil goes down, the stone goes down on top of it. And for about a day after they do it, the oil continues to creep up the stone because the stone has a charge and pull it down to the road. So we usually wait till after the first rainstorm to sweep, that way the dust goes down and it covers any oil that you might see if we were to sweep it up right after it was done without a rain event. So it rained last Thursday, we started sweeping it Monday. We're picking it up. I know there were complaints that there were no signs up. Contractor put signs up every end of each road, intermediately down the roads. There's plenty of signage, it's well marked. It's a process we normally use, and within a week, less than a week, we're picking up new stone. So I don't think that's that bad time-wise.
Okay, no, I just think that it's good for the residents to hear that this is something that we normally do. And I think hearing how the process goes is important so that they know. And the one thing I did witness when I was driving up Edmond Road, I mean, obviously it says loose gravel, loose stone. You have to slow down. You can't be going 40, 45 miles an hour. Obviously, you're gonna run into a problem. So,
It was posted loose gravel 20 miles an hour.
yeah,
That's what they posted.
okay,
It's advanced one.
okay.
Todd, are we doing more or is that
That's
it?
it for this year.
That's it for
That's all
this
that came up in the road studies for the roads.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, item 6C, discussion and possible action on appointment of Richard Canova to the Economic Development Commission for a term of 1/25/21 through 1/24/26.
Make the motion, we put Rich Knover on the Economic Development Commission for the term of 1/25/21 through 1/4/24/26.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Rich. And item 6D, discussion and possible action on request by the Second Congregational Church to waive the town associated building fees for replacing the church roof.
I know nothing about it. How much the fee would consider waiting?
$200. I will say that for me personally, I am in favor of, especially for our religious institutions, to waiving fees such as that. I mean, it's a large enough expense to replace a roof, especially for the churches these days. That's just my opinion.
I'll make a motion then that we honor the request of the Second Congregational Church to waive the town associated building fees as it relates to replacing the church roof.
I second that one.
Okay, we have a motion made and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board? And I do have an item that I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda. So do I make the motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making the motion to add to the agenda discussion on cooling centers.
I'll second that one.
Can we have a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so last week we had our first heat wave, and I'm sure it's not going to be our last. So there was the usual discussion on how do we handle cooling centers. And of course, town offices were closed on Wednesday. So we were offering, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we were offering the senior center and Jewett City Fire Department graciously offered to let us use that building on Wednesday. And then on Friday, it was also the Slater Library until 5 o'clock. But on Wednesday, we had a group, and it was from the primarily from the Public Health and Safety, who staffed the Jewett City Fire Department the entire time, and that was from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. that afternoon. So we had, and I'm going to say the names. It was Miranda Mahoney, Paul Lash, Kathy Wozalik, Wayne Malin, Rich Canova, and Jim Barney. They staffed it completely for the entire day. So I want to say thank you to all of those volunteers. But what we found, Rich Wozalik sent they had a sign-in roster for the cooling center, and there were 0 people who made use of the cooling center. So I think going forward, what we're going to do is we'll continue to use the senior center until a certain hour of the day. We're going to make, when there are no meetings in here, we're going to make the town meeting room available for people to come in and cool off. And Slater Library is open from 12 until 5. So that will be another option. So there are at least 3 options if people need to find relief from the hot weather. But
Oh, any of the cooling centers were used at all?
well, we know that people were going into the senior center, but I think, that could have been for a number of reasons, programming and that. The Slater Library, I'm sure they had people going in there. But as far as the fire department, I can't justify asking them to open up again with no use. So I just want to say thank you. And going forward, it's going to be those 3 locations. So. And I just wanted to update everybody on that. Okay?
You don't need a motion, you're just letting us know, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Just informational. All right, any other business that may properly come before the board?
I have one I'd like to bring up for discussion anyway. The proposal to name a committee to do a government study. I'd like to put that up for discussion at this point.
Okay, so we have a motion to add the government study onto the agenda under item number 7.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead, Rich.
Well, we advertised, as you all know, and it closed last Friday. Counting myself, I have 8 names. I'm not sure how I want to proceed with that, or Martin, your name is on there as well as mine.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's constitutes a legal selectmen's meeting if we're both on at the same time. I don't know how that works, but maybe I have to look into it.
We don't talk anything about selectmen, right?
No, I don't have a problem with it, but
That's up to you.
I'm not sure if it's an issue or not, or even if we even have to consult legal, I don't know, but
Lisa, could you?
You cannot make any decisions on how you're going to handle town business together. Together, the 2 of you
don't
cannot
get along
make
now,
a decision on how to handle this business.
Okay. All right.
without being posted at the meeting.
Okay. It's your compliment, Rich, if you don't want me to have one, either way.
Well, I'm just gonna have to pare it down, so I can't have 8 people, and we gotta cut it down to 7 or maybe 5. To get a more concentrated effort there, I think. Uh, Do you want to be part of, 3 of us sit down and go over the names and the applications at some point, or you wanna leave it up to me?
When I had it, well, a couple of boards that I did, I took them the fair as they came in. Sometimes that, you can do it that way. You know, there's a bunch of fair different ways. You put up a hat, and there's a bunch of fair ways you can do it.
You wanna leave that to me, or
Yeah,
we
it's
wanna
up
have
to
a
you.
special meeting or
No.
for executive session to,
I would say you need it, but you just determine how you determine it. As
all right,
far as I'm.
if it's all right with you, I'll do that, but.
No, I'm just listening to the two of you, but I mean, I think we can make a motion that Rich will review the requests and make a decision on,
And present it to you at the next meeting.
yep, you can make a decision on the committee and then present it at the next Board of Selectmen meeting.
Okay.
I guess I'll second that.
Are you okay with that, Rich?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay. And will there be any other business that may properly come before the board? Hearing nothing, we will go on to number 8, public forum. Rich?
Rich Canova, 52 Pino Lane. So, I don't know, a month or so ago, I called you about the cable guys up here cutting roads and doing all that stuff. So I got a few questions. It seems like they're kind of done at this point. Who owns that project? Is that Breeze Line? Is that Comcast? Do you know?
Xfinity and Comcast, and then they hire subs.
Yeah. So are they gonna go around the repair yards that they dug up and trenched up?
They're supposed to be. Our office has received numerous phone calls.
I started doing mine today. I went to Gear and got some room. I've been out there fixing my own stuff because they won't. And you know, I don't know.
They were supposed to come back, and that was part of the deal, so,
The contractor that was there.
Yep.
And they said that, yeah, they had a crew that would come back and fix that. Well, you know,
I'm not sure who the judge, because we had been calling the supervisors. We had so many complaints. This has been a nightmare. And
I got
no, so I would call the supervisor. They had one crew that was gonna come back and repair driveways. Then they had another crew that was gonna come back and repair lawns,
same crew.
that all the same.
Nobody came back. They half-assed them while they were there.
Okay.
Matter of fact, my neighbor across the street called him out there one day because his was already starting to sink what they did to it. Jim,
So you're on Dina Lane?
yes.
Okay.
My other concern, you can understand this better. So they cut the roads. They did 6 or 8 cuts across the road. And they're, I don't know, this wide. Now, when they paved those roads, you had problems with a couple spots and you had to go out and redo and they used the bonding agent and all that crap. And listen, those have been perfect. There's no problems. They didn't do that with these. I can see after the winter, I can see ups and downs. I can see settlements. I can see separations happening. They use nothing to bond that new asphalt to the old asphalt. And I can just see that being a problem over time. I mean, the roads are only a few years old. You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna go right to hell because of water getting in there and everything. That's supposed to be the event like that. They've been fixing the temporary patches because they've been moving already. So, you know, I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. They're gone. They're not there.
So,
I know that you said they got bond money up for all this stuff. I mean.
so do you want me to call and find out if it's a temporary patch
I just
or?
want to know. What's the end game? I mean, is it gonna be torn out and fixed properly? Are they gonna come fix yards? I mean, you know, are they gonna do all that stuff? By the time they do, mine's gonna be done, it doesn't matter. But
Todd Babbitt, do you want to call the supervisor on the road or do you want me to?
so, you know, that's just what they did, Charles, what they. road bond, they have to do a temporary repair. You have to get back and forth, but
That's what they're supposed to do. Okay, I asked them why they didn't do directional boring that I talked to you about. I did talk to them and they said, well, because cable company didn't want to pay for it.
well, we had directional boring a couple roads, must do it. The Hebrew road. And Rock.
Yeah.
So once I know they're complete in these areas, I'm in July and start going from by road, make another.
Those are the same company doing all.
No, we've got 5 different companies. They're all different.
Yeah.
Rick's Town, I was just out there last week, they had 2 driveways cave in, and I couldn't get camper out of the driveway. You know, so I called the supervisor, they went out the next day, they fixed it. He didn't know it's camper. So I called them puzzle piecing the trenches back together.
I've seen driveways that done like that too up there.
So we do have the bond. It's a small bond, we should be able to make them fix it again.
Yeah, I
Hard
saw,
with Pure, because Pure regulates them, they're not required to do all bond.
so I saw that the guy across the street, from me, so like half of his lot is still pretty heavily wooded. And they took between me and my neighbor on my side of the road, they dug out a rock. I mean, this thing is, it's huge. Now, they had dump trucks and stuff up there. They took that rock, picked it up with a bucket with the floor on it, walked it across the street, snapped a tree on that guy's property, and threw that rock in his property. He doesn't even know it's there, but I watched him do it. And he should have put that rock in the truck and hauled it out. They hauled everything else out.
So obviously they're done in that neighborhood, they're done on Shoe Drive, I'll start with those 2.
Okay.
We'll start making checklists.
Yeah,
The ones, they told us they were gonna have a separate crew come back.
Yeah, they said it was gonna be a separate group.
Yeah, it's the answer.
Right on the corner. Yeah.
Well, he was up in arm, you can't make it, you can't do it, you don't, they don't break them out.
I was out there for 6 hours.
And they claimed they were gonna go do it,
That's what I'm tired of looking at. It's like, you know,
Yeah, no, he's not happy. I have a message on my desk. He's not happy. So. Okay. Any other public forum? Your hand went up first, Wayne, go ahead.
Wayne Allen, of the Butcher. So what Dave knows is we talked about this last ordinance meeting about the noise ordinance.
Mhm.
We heard that we're gonna kibosh it. Is that true?
I can't say with any certainty what we're gonna do with it. So I think that the noise ordinance has to be looked at again and conversation has to happen with it. So. We will do that.
Understand what Rich was saying. I know for a fact, like Todd said, they came around initially dug up, you know, put their lines in and stuff like that, temporarily fixed stuff, then they came back and did a burn job. I still got some bare spots, but I've got to repair it. It'll take some time for it to come around. The digging across the road, they actually did a pretty good job in there too, fixed those roads, so. It just took some time to get it ready.
Okay. Any other public forum? Dave?
I'd like to comment on the soft patch, and I thought
Mr.
the
Pugh,
debut 59 Leah.
thank you.
And I thought the public works guys did an excellent job. There was signage up. Yes, you've had to pass your driver's test to know that when you have a yellow construction sign that limits your speed to 20. That doesn't mean to fire your BMW up and rip up the rear tires, tearing up the pea gravel and throwing it everywhere, which I saw a couple guys doing. But it's just, you can't educate the stupid. So,
Well, I just thought it was important that we put the facts out there on the process and I think everything was done the way that it was supposed to be done and we have to live with it.
I'm not sure how soft that latex sealant stays before it hardens up. I would assume at least a day or two.
if not more, one day. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Lori?
Lori Sorter, 67 Ashland. These are just things, that, are issues within the borough that I, want to ask questions on. The first one is when we went back to the roads that were done in the borough, apparently there's some damage to some sidewalks on Talcott that I got another, same people.
Yeah, I went through today and made a list of all the aprons that are gonna be done down
Oh,
there.
okay.
Got sidewalk, couple curbing areas, so
Okay.
next week, we'll start down here to the gravel and comparing that sidewalk.
Okay. All right, then.
About 25, 30 spots.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'll be able to report that back. That's awesome. Secondly, as far as the lights, now the decorative lights in the borough, I have always heard, and please, this is just kind of what I've heard for being the problem with the lights is their position, being too close to the road. We all know that the semis, cut a corner or something and hit them. That there's been instances where cars have done some damage. I actually saw it myself with a car coming out of the Jewett City Savings Bank. And I think that's how this whole discussion began, that the
It is.
savings bank
It is.
said, please take them out. This is, over and over and over again. But have you had discussion on whether or not replacing them with a more durable or a cheaper alternative or something? Will that help because of the placement or?
I don't think it'll help the placement. I think if the real problem with the replacement, the way our discussion is you gotta take all the sidewalks out and move everything back.
Right, which
So,
is,
and I'm more concerned with how much money we're gonna have to do it, and I think if the poles are 5,000 a piece and there's 5 or 6, you can get some money, but to go in there to physically take all the sidewalks out, move everything back
Yeah.
towards against the road and then redo all the sidewalks, I'm sure we can propose it, but I don't think we'll have to go anywhere, to be honest with you. So I guess this started with the three of us when everybody said they were just gonna take them down in the streetlights, and then we just decided to maybe see if we can find a cost-effective alternative, and, I guess they're still gonna get hit, but, you got two choices, either take them down and have holes there, or put light poles back up, I guess, and use the street light. I don't know how many streetlights are still there, there's quite I haven't looked at that one.
There's 5 missing. Right?
Streetlight, well, no, I meant, because if you take those down, you have to use the streetlights, I haven't looked at that either.
fine.
They're
Streetlights are
still-
still,
Okay.
yeah, they're
Okay.
still
They're
powered
still
up.
all in place, they just gotta be reconnected.
Oh, so they're not working out, though, right?
I disconnected them when we put the
Okay,
decorative in.
all right. Well, I didn't get that far into it.
But I think my question has always been, if we've got 5 that are out, are we meeting the requirements on the lumens that are
Probably not.
required?
Probably not.
So, I mean, that's a safety issue too.
I guess my whole point is, comparatively, if we, put some money into getting them back, and I think we can all agree that they really look nice, they look nice when they're up. Is it practical? I don't know. And I think that that's kind of the quandary we find ourselves.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a alternative pricing at a fair number, so we know what the number is and we make a decision based off that number. I just haven't got the decorative lighting catalogs and the pricing yet. That's,
Yeah.
but if it ends up being, $20,000 light pole, obviously, we're not gonna have a discussion, we're just moving on. But if,
Right.
If we can find something that's,
But it's easier to make a decision when you have the facts.
when you have numbers, right, that's,
Right. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
that's kind of way we were going, I thought.
Yep, thank you.
Any other public forum? Paul?
On Main Street, going back to the shelters, I mean, the heating, the cooling shelters. I think there's a rule that they have to be manned by people. Because you have to have sign-in sheets, not only for the volunteers, but you gotta have, sign-in sheets for the people that come in. Because we have a set of sign-in sheets we created for the firehouse.
Right.
Those will have to be brought in here and at the library.
See, it's never been done, it's never been done that way. where did you get that information? Because,
Following the rules from the fire marshal.
okay,
Red.
okay,
And we generated those sign-in sheets for shelters last year as part of our committee.
okay.
You know what, the other thing I thought too, we should have water at all those people.
There was water at the shelter.
Okay,
We did have water.
okay.
Okay. All right, I'll talk more with Fred about that.
Yeah.
Because I know even the senior center with the people coming in and out, you don't know who's there because they need a cooling center, or even with the library, who's going in because they're taking out a book, or they just wanna use the computers, you know, so,
A lot of other things, they got dogs, people coming in with their dogs, you know, what they're gonna do. Those are things you have to think about.
yeah.
And just going back to the light, those lights were put in to make Jewett City beautiful. So they were done for the borough, they weren't done for the town, so keep that in mind.
So you don't think it's beautiful out there?
They're beautiful, I think they're great, but I'm just saying that they were done for the borough, and the town of Grizzle did that for the borough. So,
And the borough is part of the town, so.
And I thought,
I
and I thought there was some grant
it
money.
was done for the borough.
have a question, Todd. I mean, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but is it either the street lights or the decorative lights, not both? Lighting up?
Well, I think, talking with Ken a while ago, the standard is, once you provide a certain number of lumens, you have to maintain that. So once the new decorative lamps were put up, that's when they disconnected the regular streetlights. Now, you've had a couple things that changed, like the American Legion, when they redid that, put lights on the outside of their building. So those last 2 or 3 down here, you might be able to get away with what they put up and not replace those, because they may meet that lumen standard. So there's some things you can look at, I think, with that committee, Martin, that, you know, maybe you could eliminate those 3 on South Main Street and be okay.
Do you think it's dark? I haven't really looked at that. Is it dark out there in Jewett City? You don't think?
I don't notice it.
I don't.
No.
Well, we'll try, we'll have to, you know, meter it or something.
And if I could make a suggestion is,
Look at the sidewalk going.
bring Ken into that meeting, if, you know, he'd be the one that would be able to explain that.
Okay.
All right, any other public forum? Dave?
Dave, U 59 Leah, just a quick question on the lights. Does the town or Public Works have a meter to measure lumens? Or is it gonna be something we have to contract out for?
I would think that the electric company can do that.
Okay.
So
Might be a phone app too. I mean, we can put a phone app, right? Something, walk down the street.
Get a hold of Frank might have something.
I don't think it's gonna be a scientific study. I think it's gonna be more of a.
yeah, there has to be a way to do it. Okay. Any other public forum? Seeing none. Number 9,
Motion to adjourn.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn at
6:45.
6:45. I had 43.
42
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Well, I did get it, and the guy was supposed to give me all that stuff and he didn't, but he's thinking the match it pretty close.
This is what I see.